What's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome. It is the one, the only Picture Network. I'm its host and creator, Tyzilla83. As you can see behind me, I don't have my fancy Razorback background like I normally have. It's because we had a power surge or something happened, and it popped a couple of my lights that you're supposed to use to light up your screen, and so I'm left with what I have, and I'm unable to use the background this week, so we're just going to have to go with the green screen behind me, but I'm sure you guys won't mind. But I hope you guys have had a really good week. Arkansas getting ready to take on Vanderbilt. Big-time game for Arkansas. Could be their first SEC victory. Talk about a game that would, just continue that momentum that Arkansas has built so far, with recruiting and getting better and better week by week. Of course, their victory against Tulsa last weekend. You'd like to build off of that with another victory in Fayetteville. If you guys would, at the end of the video, like, comment, share the content that you just watched. And, of course, if you haven't already, feel free to tap the subscribe button down below. And don't forget the notification bell. And, of course, as always, please go check out the links down below in the description box. There's a link to the Picture Network Patreon page and some other stuff. So feel free to go check that out. It appears that the Arkansas Razorbacks will have redshirt junior quarterback Ty Storey back this weekend. We all know that he missed the Tulsa game thanks to a concussion that he suffered late in the second half against Ole Miss. He'll obviously provide a much-needed spark for the Razorbacks on offense this weekend, assuming he's 100%, that is. I think the Razorbacks have a great shot at a victory this weekend. If you want to ask me who's the better team side by side on paper, I think they're probably about even. Vanderbilt, they're not going through the same process that Arkansas is. They just it's been kind of one struggle after the other, dealing with trying to put together an offense and then dealing with injuries, dealing with the lack of depth in certain areas. But I do think side by side they're pretty even. But again, I do think the Razorbacks have a pretty good shot. And I think if they do some of the things I'm about to say, well, they very well could land their very first SEC victory of the season. So let's talk about these four keys. I know there's I could really sit down and do about 30, but I didn't have that kind of time. I had time for four. So let's talk about those four. Number one, I think they got to find a reliable third piece to this Arkansas offense. They cannot continue to rely on Cheyenne O'Grady and Rakeem Boyd. They got to find a third piece. I'd love for it to be LaMichael Petway, right, or one of these other receivers. Someone step up. This is the SEC, and someone, possibly Vanderbilt, will catch this on film. Arkansas's only got two reliable pieces on their offense. That's not that challenging for SEC defenses to exploit. So the lack of playmakers will cost you. They kind of, I think offensively they kind of snuck up a little bit on Alabama. Ole Miss just isn't very good on defense. They're Tulsa, but someone will eventually catch up to what Arkansas's issues are, and they'll be able to exploit those weaknesses. And so a third target in this offense has to step up for sure. Number two, continue to feed Rakeem the Dream Boyd. You got to keep feeding him the rock. But kind of like what we were saying about finding that third piece, I think it'd be really awesome if they could find a really good change of pace back besides Rakeem. You can't keep feeding him the rock 25, 24, 25 times a game. He can't – as talented as I think he is, and you most certainly can build an offense around him, you still got to have someone else to someone that you can rely on. At this level of college football in the SEC, you can't just rely on Rakeem Boyd. You got to have someone else. Well, he's on the sidelines sucking air and drinking Gatorade, trying to catch his breath after carrying the football for 75% of the game. You got to find another running back. I don't know if that's Malik Williams. I don't know if it's Chase Hayden, T.J. Hammonds, whatever. They got to find somebody to step up and be a good change of pace back behind Rakeem Boyd. Vanderbilt's quarterback Shermer is one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the SEC. He's also one of the least pressured. Arkansas's got to change that this weekend. They've got to dial up pressure. Do not allow him, and I'm going to say this every week, don't ever allow a quarterback to get comfortable. But someone like Shermer will rip your secondary up. And to think, they're going to play a couple other better quarterbacks here within the next few weeks, but they've got to dial it up, dial up the pressure. Do not let him feel comfortable in that pocket. Make as much contact with him. Legal contact. Make as much of that contact as humanly possible. Let him know that you're coming. Put the fear of God in him. I don't care. Make him know that it's coming, and he better get rid of that ball fast. The last piece, and again, there's about 10 others I'd love to add to this list. Both teams are really bad on third down. I think they're ranked somewhere in the hundreds. They're bad on third down. That's crazy because Vanderbilt's actually pretty balanced on offense. For them to be as bad on third down is actually a little surprising. But Arkansas has to avoid third down in long scenarios. They cannot be in 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, even against Vanderbilt's defense. Now, their run defense is pretty bad, but obviously you would feel a lot more comfortable about handing the ball off to Rakeem Boyd or whoever, or if they're going to use that. They don't call it the Steamboat package anymore, whatever they call that Cole Kelly package now. If you're gonna have to run the ball, obviously you'd like to do it on 3rd and short because you just, even with Ty Story, you still don't feel that comfortable throwing the ball on 3rd down. So you want to put it into a situation on 3rd down where it's like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. If you put Arkansas in a 3rd and long situation, it could be pretty bad, and they end up punting the football. That was certainly a problem they dealt with in the first half of the season. And it's one that I feel like they've gotten better recently, and they need to continue to along that trend of getting better on 3rd down. But they start by doing that with 3rd and short scenarios, not 3rd and long. On defense, you got to make Vanderbilt earn it on 3rd down, force them into 3rd and long scenarios, and you've got a pretty good shot. But Vanderbilt, very balanced on offense. Their run defense is not very good. I like Arkansas. I'm liking Arkansas in this one with a final score of 35-25. I like Arkansas by 10.